Hello, everyone. Welcome to Financial Friday. My name is Letitia Hardy, and I'm with the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service. Everyone needs to eat. So now we're going to talk a little bit about how we can save money on our food. So about 49 cents of every dollar is spent toward eating out. Now, this has probably doubled since the rate of inflation hasn't increased. So ask yourself this question. How is your food and beverage dollars being spent? Like, what are you spending your money on? What things are you eating? Lots of fast foods? Are you cooking your meals regularly? Think about where you're spending your money. So now we're going to address how you can get more bang for your buck. So one thing you can do is plan your meals. You want to watch the sales ads. You want to download any digital coupons that they may have available. You can go to coupons.com and print coupons off. You can purchase a newspaper and use coupon clippings. Sometimes they have some really good coupons that you may be able to use towards your grocery purchase. Now, I'm not saying going out and just purchasing items that because you have a coupon. There's nothing wrong with um, using coupons, but you want to make sure that it's something that you actually need and you want to make sure that the item is on sale so you can maximize your savings. Also, you can incorporate meatless Mondays or maybe a meatless Wednesday. But those days you'll be able to just have, the basic meals without meat, the cost of the meat associated with it, because we know that a lot of our dollars are spent on purchasing meat. So if we're spending less on meat, throughout the week, that will save us some money overall. And there's some really cool recipes that you can come up with that you won't even realize that you're missing any meat in them. Explore your freezer space. You want to look for items in your freezer that you know need to be used, that may have been in there that's almost close to their expiration date, or maybe in there just a little bit longer than you have expected or wanted them to be. And so you want to try to use those items, as soon as possible. So at least you are not wasting any money on having to throw foods away. Something that I did was a 30-day pantry challenge in my own home. So for 30 days, I was responsible for creating meals for my family using the ingredients that I had available in my home. I was not allowed to go to the store to purchase anything. I had to use everything that was available or on hand in my own pantry. And I want to say that I successfully made it to about 26 days. I still had a few things I could have prepared, but I was so tired of eating all those foods that I was making. So I wanted to go back to the originals. But I will say that it did save me money because I did use all the foods that I had in my pantry and in my freezer. I will say that you will have to restock probably once this is over. But if you're watching the sales ads, if you are using coupons, you will actually be able to maximize your savings and be able to restock your refrigerator. But I think it's definitely worth it when you're using the foods that you've already purchased. Something else you can do is focus on gardening. Now, gardening is great because not only is it a form of exercise, depending on the time, intensity, and frequency of it, but also you'll be able to grow your own produce to be able to feed your family. All the garden plants need is just a little bit of TLC, and soon you'll be on your way to harvesting you some good fruits and vegetables for you to be able to consume. Also, watch the snacks. So, a lot of our food dollars are spent on buying boxed snacks, processed snacks, things that are really not healthy for us. They're high in calories and high in fat and high in sodium, high in sugar. They're all high in a lot of things that we don't need, and they're high in price. So, we want to try to make our own snacks. There's some really good snacks that you can make. There are tons of recipes that you can find online, where you'll be able to make some very healthy, cost-effective recipes that would be very great to your palate, that are very inexpensive. I even made some peanut butter bars. They were out of peanut butter and oatmeal. And I was just making them just to make them. But when I tell you they were so good, like we couldn't put them down. It was like peanut butter and coconut shavings. Like it was so delicious. Something else we want to focus on is reducing our waste. So think about how many things in your refrigerators that you purchase and throw away. Maybe like your berries. A lot of times they go to waste. Um, some of the produce that you've purchased, some of your vegetables you may have purchased and they go to waste because they get moldy because we didn't storage them properly. So we want to make sure that we're storing our items. Try to storage them the way that they're stored in the store, because that will give you a good idea of how you should storage them at home for them to be able to last. For our strawberries, we know those don't last very long. So you want to put them in eyesight. So you know every time you go in the refrigerator, like, hey, I need to eat them. And if you see that they're starting to over ripen, what you can do is go ahead and rinse them, cut them up, put them in a freezer bag, place them in the freezer so you can always use them later, maybe in a smoothie or in some other type of delicious snack that you want to make. Something else that I typically do is I may take like my herbs, like things like cilantro or parsley, and I may place them in a cup of water and place them in the refrigerator door. So that way they're still getting to drink some water so they may last a little bit longer. Also, asparagus. I take my asparagus and I place it in a cup of water and place it in the refrigerator. And so that kind of helps preserve it a little bit longer. They're not drying out. I also bought a vegetable crisper. So you're supposed to be able to place the vegetables in the crisper and they're supposed to help it last longer than it would. So I would say there are a few tweaks that I kind of have to make to it. Like I end up adding some paper towel at the bottom to kind of help with the moisture, because sometimes there's issues with the moisture. We know that moisture can cause bacteria to grow on some of our produce items. But if there are foods in there that you have purchased that you know they're going to ruin soon, you want to make sure that you try to use them right away so that you don't waste them, or at least cut them up and freeze them. And try to figure out recipes where you'll be able to incorporate them if the plan you had actually didn't work out the way that you wanted it to. So that way we can eliminate our food waste altogether. So just for another resource, you can check out this http://www.cnpp.usda.gov/USDA food cost home.htm for additional resources on how you can save more money on your food costs. I'd like to thank you so much for tuning in today for our Financial Friday. I am Letitia Hardy, and I will see you next month.